I recommend you to watch AAU television.
AAU TV is the place to be for every person in higher education in Africa. Better be there or be nowhere.
Continuez de regarder la télé et surtout sur le AAU.
Keep watching it and it will change the way you interact with higher education on the continent. AAU, great job.
I want to tell you that AAU television is fantastic, it's educative, it's informative, and it is a must for anybody who is interested in higher education in Africa.
When I was in Accra last year, I did an interview on this TV. It's a very important mouthpiece.
It's a data, it's a bank of all we need for the development of higher education in Africa.
People should make an effort to view it because it discusses very current issues of development across the continent.
I believe that the station will continue to promote the overall development of Africa, particularly in the tertiary education sector.
AAU TV provides a platform and shares a lot of information to a broader audience. So we wish you all the best and please continue serving AAU TV,
the voice of higher education in Africa.
Good day, Africa. You're welcome to the AAU TV Midweek News, coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. Now to our headlines for today. In higher education, AAU advocates for digital access in universities. And in health, Ethiopia reports first Marburg virus outbreak. Now, business for today, Africa hosts historic G20 summit. An international Iran experiment with emergency rainmaking. Please stay with us for more news on the AAU TV Midweek News. We will be right back. My name is Jemima Deladem, Dotsey. Welcome back from the break, and now to our news in detail. African higher education leaders speaking on 12th November at the Association of African Universities Day celebration in Accra, Ghana, called for the expanded use of technology to bridge infrastructure gaps, promote inclusion, and ensure equal access to higher education for disadvantaged groups, including persons with disabilities, refugees, and marginalized communities. They argue that the digital tools and online learning offer a practical, cost-effective solution for overcoming barriers that prevent thousands from accessing universities across the continent.
The speakers argue that digital solutions can help close deep infrastructure gaps that continue to deny opportunities to persons with disabilities, refugees, and marginalized groups. They said that technology, when properly funded, can provide access to lectures, research materials, and academic support for students who cannot navigate traditional campuses or afford conventional learning environments. Sophia Boachi Echampong, president of the Little Persons Organization of Ghana, stressed that technology has already made it possible for many learners to study from home. She noted that expanding online programs to cover most university courses, along with subsidizing laptops and digital tools, would significantly reduce physical barriers that exclude many students. Representing the Christian Council of Ghana, Catherine Loluvi highlighted the challenges refugees face in accessing higher education. She explained that high fees, lack of recognized certificates, language barriers, and stigma continue to push many qualified refugees out of universities despite improvements in basic education access. From the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Wisdom Ompra called for more flexible academic policies, arguing that rigid exam rules often disadvantage visually impaired students. AAU Secretary General Professor Olushola Bandele Oyewole emphasized that African universities must embrace diversity, modular learning, and technologies as AI if they hope to prepare students for the future. He said true progress will require innovation, collaboration, and a commitment to making education accessible to all. The week-long celebration brought together ministers, vice-chancellors, researchers, and students to discuss how technology, innovation, and inclusive policies can transform Africa's higher education landscape.
Education. Nigeria has approved a new sexual harassment prevention law that imposes up to 14 years in prison for lecturers who sexually harass students, following a Senate's vote earlier month in Abuja. The law, created to combat decades of sex for grade scandals, mandates tertiary institutions to establish independent committees to investigate compliance, with penalties for leaders who fail to act. It aims to protect students, address systemic abuse of power, and transform how universities handle misconduct, marking one of the country's strongest legal steps yet in the fight for safer higher education.
The legislation, passed earlier this year after gaining approval in the House of Representatives, targets abuse of authority in the country's tertiary institutions and requires every university to set up an independent sexual harassment prohibition committee with full investigative powers. School heads who ignored verified complaints could face fines up to 5 million naira. Academic experts and students' leaders have welcomed the move as a turning point. Senior lecturer Dr. Asiya Imam said the law will help correct deep power imbalances, giving female students a sense of safety and empowering victims to report incidents. She explained that on her campus, support groups for women already help students speak up, and the new law will give such initiatives greater legitimacy. Another academic, Professor Asiya Bagudu, said the 14-year jail term sends a clear warning to would-be offenders, stressing that many cases in the past were quietly buried. She urged universities to complement the law with reforms such as confidential reporting systems and counseling services. Legal scholar Ahmad Murtada described the law as a necessary social instrument and noted that proper enforcement will be crucial as many Nigerian laws remain unimplemented. He believes the legislation would deter misconduct, even as he highlighted the challenges of proving such cases. Student voices are equally positive. Student leader Jerogbe Adedoyin called it a powerful step that will help female students feel more protected, whilst urging campuses to intensify awareness and build supportive environments. Law student Abdul Rahman Saludin said the bill aligns with wider efforts to uphold women's rights and ensure equality on campus. Nigeria's new law now sets one of the strongest national standards on the continent. Its impact will depend on how effectively universities and enforcement agencies implement it.
In health, Ethiopia's Ministry of Health has confirmed the country's first outbreak of Marburg virus disease after laboratory tests identified the virus in suspected cases reported in Jinka town in the South Ethiopian region. The outbreak, which has infected 9 people, was confirmed this week following genetic analysis showing the strain matches those found in past East African outbreaks. Authorities say the outbreak requires urgent actions because Marburg is highly contagious and often fatal viral hemogenic fever. Ethiopia has launched a nationwide response by scaling up screening, isolation, treatment, contact tracing, and public awareness efforts, with the World Health Organization deploying experts, equipment, and supplies to help contain the spread.
The Ministry of Health says 9 cases have been detected so far, all centered in Jinka town, and genetic analysis from the Ethiopia Public Health Institute shows the virus is the same strain responsible for previous outbreaks elsewhere in East Africa. National health authorities have now moved into full emergency response mode, conducting community-wide screening, placing confirmed patients in isolation, tracing contacts, and rolling out public awareness campaigns to slow transmission. The World Health Organization is on the ground, supporting the government's response with specialized teams, medical supplies, and technical guidance. Marburg virus disease is a severe and often fatal illness in the same family as Ebola. It is initially transmitted to humans from fruit bats and spreads between humans through direct contact with bodily fluids or contaminated materials. Early symptoms include high fever, severe headaches, muscle pain, and fatigue, with many patients developing severe bleeding within a week of falling ill. Although researchers are testing several promising treatments and vaccines, none are currently licensed. Doctors emphasize that early supportive care, including rapid rehydration and management of symptoms, remain the strongest chance of survival. The outbreak places Ethiopia among more than 10 African nations that have reported Marburg cases in recent years, including Angola, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Health officials say the coming days will be critical as teams work to prevent further spread and bring the outbreak under control.
We'll be back with news on Discovery. Stay tuned.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aauLMS@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
Welcome back from the break and to our Discovery story. Africa Tech Summit Nairobi has opened application for a 2026 investment showcase, inviting African startups to pitch their solution on February 11th and 12th, 2026 at the Sarit Expo Center. The showcase aims to spotlight high potential ventures across the continent by giving them direct access to investors, industry leaders, and corporate partners. Startups from sectors including fintech, AI, agri-tech, health tech, climate tech, and more are eligible to apply, with all applicants required to attend in person. Organizers say the initiative will help scale African innovations by connecting founders to funding, mentorship, and strategic partners through live pitches, workshops, and networking sessions.
The event, set for February 11th and 12th at the Sarit Expo Center, will provide African tech ventures a rare opportunity to pitch directly to global and continental investors. Now in its 8th year, the investment showcase has become one of Africa's most influential platforms for emerging technology. Organizers say the 2026 edition will spotlight startups building scalable solutions in sectors such as fintech, agri-tech, Web3, edtech, insurtech, health tech, artificial intelligence, and climate tech, areas they describe as central to Africa's digital transformation. Selected ventures will pitch live on stage to more than 2,000 industry leaders, including investors, corporate executives, and fellow entrepreneurs. Beyond the showcase, participants will also benefit from tailored workshops, exclusive networking events, and investor-founder matchmaking designed to help promising startups secure growth capital. To qualify, ventures must be African-led or headquartered on the continent, and founders must be able to present their innovations in person during the summit. With limited slots available, organizers advise early applications, which remain open until December 18, 2025. The Africa Tech Summit team says the showcase continues to serve as a critical launchpad for African entrepreneurs seeking visibility, investment, and continental partnerships, solidifying Nairobi's role as a hub for Africa's fast-growing technology ecosystem.
In sport, DR Congo boosted their hopes for reaching the 2026 FIFA World Cup after defeating Nigeria 4-3 on penalties in the African playoff final. The match in Rabat ended 1-1 after extra time, with Chancel Mbemba converting the decisive kick following a save by substitute goalkeeper Timothy Faula. Nigeria started brightly through a deflected strike from Frank Oyenka, but Meshak Elia leveled for DR Congo before the break. The Super Eagles struggled after losing Victor Osimhen at halftime, allowing DR Congo to take control and push for a late winner. The Leopards now advanced to the Intercontinental Qualifying Tournament in March, keeping alive their quest for a first World Cup appearance since 1974.
DR Congo are one step closer to the 2026 FIFA World Cup after edging Nigeria in a dramatic playoff final decided by penalties. Playing on neutral grounds in Rabat, Nigeria struck first in the third minute through Frank Onyeka's deflected efforts, but DR Congo responded when Meshak Elia finished from close range after sustained pressure. The momentum shifted when Nigeria's Victor Osimhen was withdrawn at halftime, leaving the Super Eagles struggling to create chances. DR Congo dominated possession and nearly won it in extra time, with Chancel Mbemba forcing a crucial save from Stanley Nwabili. The match moved to a tense shootout in heavy rain. Substitute goalkeeper Timothy Fayulu, brought on specifically for penalties, produced the decisive stop. Captain Chancel Mbemba sealed the victory moments later, sparking emotional celebrations from the Congolese supporters. DR Congo now advanced to the Intercontinental playoffs in March, where they will fight for one of the final two spots at the 2026 World Cup. For Nigeria, the result ends another disappointing qualifying campaign and confirms their absence from a second consecutive World Cup.
In entertainment, the government of Ghana has introduced a film fund in the 2026 national budget to revive the struggling local movie industry, including the Kumawood sector. Announced by Finance Minister Dr. Kaisel Atoforsen, the fund is designed to support film production, distribution, and marketing while attracting private investment and boosting cultural tourism. The initiative aims to create jobs and strengthen Ghana's creative economy, but stakeholders note that government, transparency and investment in infrastructure such as cinemas and copyright enforcement will be critical to its success. If effectively managed, the film fund could become a turning point for Ghanaian cinema and open new pathways for filmmakers and audience.
Ghana's government is taking a major step to revitalize the local film industry with the launch of the National Film Fund in the 2026 budget. The new fund, announced by Finance Minister Dr. Kaisel Atoforsen, is expected to inject seed capital into film production, distribution, and marketing. It aims to reduce early-stage financial risk, attractive private investment, and revive local movie hubs including Kumawood. The initiative marks a shift in how the creative sector is valued, with government positioning film as a key driver of jobs, cultural tourism, and export potential. Industry players, however, cautioned that funding alone will not solve long-standing challenges. They highlight the need for stronger cinema infrastructure, copyright protection, and modern marketing channels as a transparent system for allocating support. If governed effectively, the Film Fund could spark a new era of Ghanaian storytelling and provide sustainable livelihoods across the sector. The coming months will determine whether the policy delivers real opportunities on sets, on screens, and in the pockets of those who power the country's film industry.
Ever wondered what drives ordinary people to do extraordinary things? Every week, a new story unfolds. But these aren't just stories. They are the journeys of courage, resilience, and vision. On Impact Stories, we open the door to remarkable personalities and everyday heroes. Experience the passion behind their purpose. Witness the setbacks, the breakthroughs, and the moment that defines a legacy. Journey with us on AAU TV every Saturday at 4 p.m. as we celebrate those who are making an impact. Tune in to Impact Stories, where real people share real journeys and real impact, each one leaving behind a legacy written in gold. Only on AAU TV.
Africa is hosting the G20 summit for the first time, with global leaders gathering in Johannesburg to discuss key issues ranging from climate finance and debt release to trade reforms and inclusive economic growth. The event arrives amid geopolitical tensions marked by the United States boycotting the summit following sustained criticism by former U.S. President Donald Trump towards South Africa and Nigeria. South Africa aims to use the summit theme solidarity, equality, sustainability to push Africa's priorities to the center of global decision-making. While China has openly supported Africa's leadership role, the U.S. absence highlights the continent's strategic position between major world powers. Johannesburg now faces both the responsibility and scrutiny of hosting an event of this scale, with its performance expected to influence Africa's reputation as a global diplomatic leader.
Africa is making history as the G20 summit takes place on the continent for the first time, with Johannesburg hosting world leaders for high-stake discussions on global policy and economic reform. The summit arrives at a sensitive moment in global politics. The United States is absent following criticisms from President Donald Trump, whose comment on South Africa and Nigeria has heightened tensions and drawn global attention. Despite this, African leaders are positioning the event as a turning point. South Africa is placing urgent issues on the agenda, including climate financing, debt stress affecting developing economies, and reforms to global systems. With support from countries such as China, the continent is seeking a stronger voice in shaping global decisions. Behind the scenes, Johannesburg is also under pressure to demonstrate its capacity to manage an international event of this magnitude. With concerns around infrastructure and service delivery, the 2025 G20 Summit could redefine Africa's place in global governance, shifting the continent from the margins to a leading role in charting the world's economic and political future. All eyes are now on Johannesburg to see whether this historical moment delivers lasting influence and meaningful change.
Iran has begun testing cloud seeding technology in an urgent attempt to ease a deepening water crisis triggered by years of drought. Officials confirmed that a cloud seeding flight was carried out over the country's largest lake as reservoir levels continue to fall and water shortages intensify. Tehran is entering its 6th consecutive year of drought, with some residents reporting dry taps for days. Authorities have issued widespread restrictions on water use while the scramble of shortage tanks grow amid fears that shortages could stretch for months. High temperatures this summer worsened the crisis, contributing to power shortages, while previous attacks on critical infrastructure compounded pressure on national water system.
Iran is turning to emergency water modification technology as the country battles one of its worst water shortage in a decade. Authorities say cloud seeding experiments have begun, with the first operation carried out over Iran's largest lake. The technique releases particles into clouds, encouraging rainfall where natural precipitation has become scarce. The measures comes as Tehran enters a 6th straight year of severe drought. Some households report having no running water for days, and natural restrictions have pushed many residents to secure storage tanks amidst concerns that shortage may continue for months. Extreme summer heat added pressure on the system, triggering rolling power outage while damaging to key water infrastructure earlier in the year has left supply networks struggling to cope. Reservoirs that feed the capital are now at 5% of capacity, raising alarm about the months ahead. With water levels at historic low and little relief in sight, Iran is racing to find solutions, natural or engineered, to alleviate a worsening humanitarian and environmental crisis.
Thank you for staying with us, and let's take a quick look at our headlines. In higher education, AAU advocates for digital access in universities. And in health, Ethiopia reports first Marburg virus outbreak. In business, Africa hosts historic G20 summit. And international, Iran experiment with emergency rainmaking. Thanks for sticking with us on the AAU TV Mid-week news. You can also get interactive with us on our various social media platforms, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Jemima Deladem Dotsey. See you same time next time. Bye.